Uncensored.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the podcast that is all about intellectually immature nonsense.
Are a very particular set of skills.
And by God, this is the BS.
Uncensored.
There it is, episode 7. 8. 9.
10, 11, 12.
What was it, 8, right?
It's 8.
8 of the BS Uncensored. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. There's Nikki D.
That is me.
There's Nelson.
Hello, hello.
We appreciate you listening and follow on social media. Listen to the BS at The Bailey Show on the YouTube, where we put the full-length video. If for whatever reason you want to see our smiling faces talk, then you can do that on our YouTube channel. It's weird what people like and don't like and don't like. Who knows? Want to start out this podcast in saying how sorry I know we all are, but Nate lost a tiger.
Oh, my
Yes.
God, yes.
The other day, and so this, he lost Pharaoh, about a year?
A couple years ago.
I was going to say 2 years at this point, isn't it?
Is
It's
it
been more than that.
2 years? I
It's been
remember,
longer
It's been
than that.
more than 2 years since Pharaoh died?
Yeah.
and that was
Wow.
and that was tough. Yeah, because I lost Allie in between. So he lost Pharaoh, and that was horrible because he was out of town, and his dad, God, I felt so bad for Mark. His dad was dog
Was
sitting.
dog sitting, yep.
And, and no fault of no one. But, I mean, especially that man, he's just so sweet. He just felt horrible that, it was his watch. And Pharaoh came with Nate when he got into the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So
And Tiger came with Alexis.
Right, yeah. And so, and I knew Nate before he and Alexis met. So I was there for the Pharaoh days.
I mean, Pharaoh's been around. It was 2009 or whatever, right? 2010, he had Pharaoh.
And so then Tiger, they're in Mexico, obviously, most of you know that, living in Mexico. And then Tiger, old age, it just happens.
Yep.
Congestive heart failure. I don't know
Started
what it
having
was.
breathing problems. He had problems breathing.
Right. In the middle of the night, you got to go. At least, they were able to take him into an emergency room, which is great, that they, because that's the worst thing in the world, where there's nothing you can do and just watch your dog die.
Right.
It is horrible. So thank God they got to do that. But yeah, my heart goes out to him. I've been through it. A lot of you have been through it. Those dogs meant the world to them. And I couldn't think, and I don't know if it was Tubby or if it was Pharaoh. I'm assuming it was Pharaoh because I think this was before those two met. And Nate would, back in Orlando, come over to my house, my condo, and he'd walk Allie for me, walk my dog. But he was coming over for something else. And he used to drive this beat up beige, I think Volvo.
Yes.
And he was just coming up for a second. So don't think that, he was doing bad things to his dog, because he's the last person in the world to do that. And he had left, I want to say, maybe it was after he and Alexis met, possibly. He had Tubby. I want to say it was Tubby. But anyway, it was one of the dogs that was left in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And he locked the keys in the car. And so he goes downstairs. And I lived in this, two bedroom, 2-bath condo. It was awesome. Loved it. It was my last condo when I lived in Orlando in Baldwin Park. And a 1-car garage, and he's in my parking spot. And he's like, dude, and I walk him down. And he's like, oh my God, where are my keys? Where are my keys? And he had to coax one of the dogs.
Got to be Pharaoh.
To open the car door, to unlock the car.
How in the world did he do that?
And it happened. I wish I could remember the whole. I'm sitting here second guessing. Was I there? Did he tell me? Because I knew he was at my house, but I don't know if I was there to watch it or not. But I know he coaxed the dog to push the button
And unlock the door.
and unlock the door.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite dog stories, just in general, to tell. It was like, and Nate, he's like, yeah, cool, dude. That's cool. Thanks.
Yeah, whatever.
Thanks for opening the door, dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Just expected.
Anybody else is going to be freaking out, right? It's like hot outside, and you're like, Jesus, oh my God. So that's tough. It's really tough. So.
And they appreciate all the condolences and everything everybody's been giving them online. Like, they've read all the messages. If they replied or didn't reply, they read them. They appreciate it. And they posted it in the Supers chat, too.
So when we were moving our stuff here to Sacramento, Edie, remember Edie?
lady?
The two-pier. She passed.
Oh, okay, yes.
She used
I
to
do.
make Steve and I the pillows.
She made us pillows.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Again, my memory's going. I don't know what's wrong with me. I should probably get checked. But I believe Edie's the one that gave us this little yard monument for
She
Allie,
did.
right?
That is her.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it was a heart.
Yep.
And so, Rach packed up the house in Atlanta, which we just sold, which my soul is scratched. I don't want to talk about it. And she left it behind. And I wanted that. I wanted that. So we had our friend Zoe go over last minute
And grab it.
and grab it. So it just got to the house.
Oh, that's good.
So I got to find a place at the new house, which we have 0 yard.
Right.
Right. So we're going to have to find a place in the new house to put that. But we left Allie's ashes behind.
Yeah, I remember I saw you post that online.
Yeah. I had built what we called the puppy party patio. And it was this little deck. It had a little ramp, and then I put the cushion up there, and they kind of used it. Then they kind of did it. But anyway, it was in the backyard. I painted it the same color as the stain on the fence and stuff. It was neat, right? It was neat. It was a project for me to do for no reason whatsoever. I had extra 2x4s and stuff that I used. And so as we were getting ready to move here to Sacramento, I was looking through, when packing up stuff, looking at stuff. And I was like, I still have her ashes. What do I do with her ashes? Do I bring them? What do you do with ashes of a dog, a cat, a person? How long do you hold on to them for?
Keep 'em forever.
Well, because the idea,
You're
right?
supposed to go sprinkle them somewhere.
Right. Isn't that the idea of
That's
getting?
what I thought. You get the ashes. They'll sit there for a minute until you go decide where you're going to sprinkle them, depending on the person's request or just what you know of them that you want to go sprinkle
Yeah, but
their
what about
ashes.
the animal? Where are you going to sprinkle animals' ashes that's special?
He had a whole yard to sprinkle them in.
Right.
Why are you going to sell that yard to somebody else?
Yes, that was that dog's yard first.
Yeah. So, right. So that was the mindset with Allie was that, this is where we did our pee-pees.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we did our potties. This was her yard. This is what she loved. This
Where
is
she probably spent the majority of her life too, right?
for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I lifted up the little puppy party patio,
Mm-hmm.
had a little ceremony, and I put the ashes in there so Allie will always stay there. But then again, the sentimental side of me is going, somebody else owns my house.
Yes.
And that pisses me off. And Allie stayed behind. And that pisses me off.
Maybe to haunt
when
them.
I think about my house in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
and I no longer own it and I no longer can look through the cameras and see what's
happening.
going on, you have no idea how much it fucking drives me insane.
Yeah, it's like somebody banging your ex-girlfriend.
In front of you,
Yes.
right? Kind of.
Kinda, because you can't really see it.
Yeah.
You just know it's happening.
But in your
Yes.
head.
yeah.
It's like you can hear it.
Like I'm walking around on a daily basis in my head and I'm getting into my own head and I'm like, oh my God, they just put a hole in the wall.
Yep.
Oh my God, they just repainted. Oh my God, they made a comment about something that I did.
And you're so OCD. I know you keep picking up your phone, probably like, I can't click on the cameras off my phone.
If I had a nickel in the past 3 weeks, how many times I've done that, I'd be rich.
I know.
You're absolutely right.
I know.
I just wanted the people that bought the house to reach out to me and just say, hey, it's in good hands. I'm going to take care of it.
Like an open adoption. You want little updates.
Well, truth be told, I told Rach, the whole thing didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to work out. I thought it was going to sell that. And because of the market and because it's a unique house, it did not sell like that. So one, we didn't get the money that we wanted for it. But two, it wasn't a, beggars can't be choosers kind of thing. So I was going to interview people. Here's in my head what I expect. I expect, because remember just a year ago, it was, people are paying
$40,000-$50,000 over what a house was worth.
cash over appraisal.
Yep.
If not more.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm thinking that's still, and just, I don't know why. So I was like, well, if we're going to have so many offers, this thing's going to be gone in an hour. I go, I want to talk to each and every person. I want to meet with them.
Are so crazy.
And if I don't think they're good for my house, then I'm not going to sell it to them because I will have the options. And a year ago, I could have done that.
Yes, you could have.
I could have done that. I could have picked and choose. But in this case, I couldn't pick and choose because it was getting down to the point where I was like, okay, this is getting out of hand. I'm out of money.
Right.
Exactly.
We just need to unload this thing. But when I go back, I'm thinking about going back early next year and visiting some friends and doing a pop-up podcast in Pores that I posted on social media, today, I guess. And so I'm going to have to drive by it. And driving by a property, a house that you've done so much to and loved and raised your kid. I mean, that house was the best house, right, to me. It was just the best. And a lot of people have great stories about that house. We've already done that bit. But, to drive by and see any changes that they've done.
It's just going to drive you even more crazy.
Oh, my God. Like, I wouldn't doubt if I stopped, knocked on the door, and said, hey, I'm the old owner. Do you mind if I walk around?
Oh, my God.
Right.
I'm going to look at you like you're crazy.
I did that with my childhood home.
See, I would like to do that one day with my childhood home, but I think it'd be weird to do.
With a childhood home, I think the person living there may be more susceptible to say, yeah, sure, come in. But somebody who you just sold a house to, I'd be like, get off my doorstep.
Right.
This feels creepy.
3 weeks ago, you just bought this.
Right. No.
I just want to walk around.
No.
No.
My God.
I agree. That's a little weird.
No, not at all.
But my childhood home, so in Severna Park, Maryland, it's a unique home, large piece of land. It's the value of this thing is crazy for what it was in the 80s, obviously. It's on the water. So if you live on the water side of the house is the front yard. That's kind of the rule. That's
okay.
what that's just the rule across the board. And then so the backyard, which is technically the front yard, if to normal people,
Yeah.
You have a detached garage and a shed, but it's a distance from the road to the front door, probably about a football field's length.
Okay.
I mean, it is a large distance.
Sure.
It is a large distance. So there's now they have like a circular driveway. So they have two entrances. When I lived there, there's only one entrance. So you can look in, and then there's an iron gate and whatnot. So, I mean, they'll see you coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, this was years and years, probably like 20 years ago. And I walked up, and I'm just walking, and it felt like forever that I got to the front door. And I knock on the front door. I'm like, hi, my name's Jason Bailey, and I lived here as a kid. Do you mind if I walk around? And they were just like, yeah, I guess.
Right.
But they've done so many things to this house. If you want to look it up, you can find it online. It's 709 Dividing Road, Severna Park, Maryland. 709 Dividing Road, Severna Park, Maryland. What you'll see in the pictures, it was nothing like that when I lived there. Like, this house was built back in the Civil War days. Like, it's got like steel in the house, like in the basement. It's got had an old furnace, like a huge old furnace. The size of the basement and the size of the attic were the same sizes of the floor. You could literally walk around and live. So they've opened both of those up to make it like a 4-story house. The renovations that they've done for that house are tremendous. But I did that. I went and walked around, and they were cool with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A childhood home, if somebody knocked on my door and told me that, I'd probably still look at them, make sure they weren't creepy. But if I thought they weren't lying, I probably would let them come in and see, oh, this house is beautiful.
Like they have like a Manson shirt on or something.
Right. No.
Some anti-whatever shirt on.
Thank you. A little busy.
Yeah, it can't go. Isn't that a cool house?
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to,
I don't even know what you're looking at.
I'm looking at the wrong.
Yeah, you're I don't know where you're at. That's not the house. Anyway. So
Is this not it?
huh?
Is that back there?
No, that's
709 Dividing Road, Severna Park, Maryland, right? That's what you said?
Yeah. Well, I knew you were at 705. I could tell.
Sure.
Actually,
This is it right here. When I pull up 709.
Yeah, that's it.
This is the house.
Yeah, that's it. We put that pool in.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We put that pool in
This house is nice.
in the 80s. Yeah. Well, again, it didn't look like that when I lived there.
Oh, okay.
And so even when I look at the pictures, I'm like, oh, you guys did a really good job.
We're out right on the water.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, open up to the Chesapeake Bay.
Beautiful.
Like, we'll take the boat in the backyard and go across the way and get steamed crabs and then come back and eat them.
Is this the house where you had the reef hanging out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
because this
yeah.
house looks just like that.
Yeah, so
This
if
would be
you-
the one.
So if you look at the front of the house
Uh-huh.
and
Right here.
No, that's towards the water, but the other side, that's water. Yeah, like here, there's a fence.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we have to put the razor blades and the wreaths.
Dang.
Oh, my God.
So we got to cut the neighbors because they were bad people. Anyway, so back to Nate. So we wish Nate love and support and all that good stuff. And like Nikki said, make sure you post that on social media. All right, so I got sent from the good to the bad, right? So I got sent the a screenshot. Actually, I had two people send me the screenshot. Huh?
Why? You know what I mean? I know you're upset by it, but aren't you the winner out of all of this?
You don't even know what I'm going to say.
I will bet money
What are you going to bet?
that you're going to talk about a former coworker of yours and the shit that he's talked about you without naming you in a thread.
Yeah. Did you see the post?
Uh-huh.
Because I think somebody posted it. They're like, I think this is it.
Yeah, I've gone through, I went through the thread and looked at the handful of times where he obviously talks shit about you.
Yeah. So what's the big deal?
I just mean, aren't you bigger and better than him?
No. Well, yeah, but what are you talking about as far as talking about it?
Yeah,
About
let's
talking
heal.
about it.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to that type of radio.
Oh.
I subscribe to honest radio and addressing things.
Okay.
So I guess we just come from different worlds. I don't have a problem calling people out in their bullshit when I feel like they need to be called out. You just obviously subscribe to the hide behind the curtain
I
and
think you just
pretend
call
like and do the old I'm better than that. There's no reason to talk about it. Fuck that, dude. People should be held accountable for their fucking lies.
I think you just called me a pussy.
I did.
Basically.
That's exactly what I fucking did. So, back in Atlanta, we worked at the rock station, which is no longer in existence, and that's fine. Like it is what it is. Like nobody at that station works there anymore. And so the dude that was the program director, this guy Andy, he comes in, and he gets a lot of blame for dismantling and just fucking everything up. And now, truth be told, he shouldn't get 100% of the blame, but definitely he gets a lot of the blame because he was the puppet master to the market manager, who fucking hated him. They hated each other from day one because they would both get drunk at night and get in arguments. They'd text each other, or one of them would text me. So anyway, it is what it is. I've moved on. Dude, actually, to your point, I have moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I haven't brought any of this stuff up, really. I mean, I don't even trash Steve anymore for the most part.
In fact, you said nice things about him, honestly.
So, I mean, but if it comes up and it's the truth, it's the truth. But the thing that bothers me is when somebody like Andy tries to lie to cover their own ass. So he just gets a new job this is all back in Atlanta stuff. So he gets a new job at this radio station called The River. The River is very dominant in ratings. They have a huge signal. They point in the right direction. You have to take into consideration, that's a 100,000 watt signal, right? The most that a radio station can have.
Mm-hmm.
And it covers the right people. They're a jukebox. They play a lot of music. They know their audience. They always have great ratings. I mean, for the 9-10 years that I was in Atlanta, they were always very dominant. Outside of Morning Drive for a good stretch when we were dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Personality beat them. So you don't really have to do much. And the guy that was there before, I never knew him, but he's old Atlanta radio, and he was at 99X and all that stuff. It's all very ancestral in that city. And so he got to a point, when they brought 99X back, is that he was fucking over it. Like, he was like, I'm going back because everybody wants to live in their heyday in Atlanta. He's like, I'm going back. Now, they had planned, which I found out later, this night, and I kind of had an idea. When they brought it back to the HD2, they were prepping it to take over for rock.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I asked numerous times, I tried to tell Steve that. He didn't want to believe me. I'm like, and this was years before it happened, like 2 to 3 years before it happened. And so, when it happened, it didn't shock me because I was like, I hate to say this, but I saw it coming. And so, anyway, Andy was part of that. Steve was not. Steve was part of the 96 Rock guys. So he was like the enemy. So he wasn't part of the plan. And so Andy comes in thinking that he's going to relive this heyday and be the thing. Now, truth be told, and I've told this story before, and this is factual. I mean, ask people. It's factual. When I came to Atlanta, he wanted the morning show job. Him and Steve wanted to work together, but they hired me over him. I mean, simply because I'm better and he sucks. And so they hired me. And he said, well, look, I'm either going to quit or move me somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
They moved him to Cincinnati, gave him a cushy gig up there, gave him, his PD stripe so he can become something. And then when they started putting all this together, they brought him back. And he'd always wanted my chair. So again, to his credit, it's a 7-8 year receipt. Like, he finally got my chair. But as Nikki will tell you, because they kept her for a minute, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Right? I mean, he had no clue.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy as they thought being in Morning Drive was going to be at all.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, they were going, you were trying to do, producer stuff and give them, and they're like, we don't need that. We're too good. We can just bullshit and talk about stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you were just like, I mean, you'd call me and be like, what the fuck are these guys doing? So anyway, the post is that somebody was beating him up for going to the river. He gets hired to the river.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy leaves because he wanted to get paid more money because they don't pay much over there. So
Right.
I think he's making like $100K, and then they're always bonus, and they'll make like $20,000, $30,000 in bonuses.
Sure.
So Andy was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll take that. So he goes in there and he gets the gig. Great. Fucking do your thing, dude. But if people are going to beat you up because they still miss our show and they miss the old radio station, you've been doing this long enough, bro, to know that you have to have a thicker skin than to kind of pawn it off on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But this post was like something to the effect of this guy was beating him up, and he goes, he's like, yeah, well, some people didn't want to be there, and they made it all about themselves, referring to me, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the last person on that fucking show that made it about me. Like, do you know who I worked with? Are you kidding me? Like, really? I'm the guy that made it about me. I was in your office trying to do things for the show in general. I was offering support. I was trying to come up with ideas for the show and the station, and you always pushed me away.
Right.
So don't fucking say that shit to cover your own ass. I hate that. Because he's trying to win over a new audience because he's terrified.
Yeah, and there's other ways to win that audience.
And the problem that he's got right now is he's going into a situation where the only place he can go is down.
Oh, right, because they're already just a premier.
They're
They're a premier level.
Yeah, it's not like you could build like Steve and I built.
Right. You always want to come from low to high because there's less of a chance of you failing. And if you do fail, you can recover faster.
It's like there's no expectations.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck?
I'll agree with that.
There's no expectations. So he's in a situation. And his boss, who I know, hired him because, she doesn't want to deal with anybody that wants to. She doesn't want to deal with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steve tried to get the job. She didn't want to deal with him. Even though he lied too when he went to, talk to him and saying what he did. Well, everybody lies.
Well, it's all lies.
I don't understand why everybody needs to lie about the silliest of shit, right?
No, it's not. I don't even understand why this is even still a conversation. Like, why does anybody got to talk about anything? Like, at this point, we've all moved past it, moved forward. He did say in the post, we moved on. We're happy. You moved on. You're happy. Like, I think everybody needs to, like, no longer let this be a discussion of the topic.
Oh, I disagree.
Why?
You're missing the point, is that there are still people that appreciate what we did. You don't want that to die. You don't want those people to just go away and say, hey, it's over, it's done. If there's fans still of what we did, we have that's like the ultimate flattery in this business is to years after to still have people talk about what you did and accomplish.
I'm talking about what you're upset about. That's what I'm talking about. Not what somebody said about liking our show or appreciating us.
Oh, you're talking
there.
about Andy lying.
Right.
Oh, well, that's what liars got to lie, right?
Liars gonna lie.
Don't have to though. Like, people can just move forward, leave the lies out, leave whatever out, just move forward in life.
There are some people that have problems,
Well, I guess.
and they've got to lie.
Mm-hmm.
They have to lie. They have to fib. And
Well, because the truth doesn't back up their play.
right. Well, you also want to cover your ass because you want to be the good guy. If you've got people that are looking for a home, and they want to they want to find something to listen to, but they don't like you, and he's got a lot of because he's not good on the air. Right?
Well, and like the dumb move is referencing you even veiled. Like the smart move is to pivot, find a better response to them, and act like you never existed.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about right there. Like, leave all the extras out. You don't have to point a finger at this a person or that a person is. Hey, I'm here. This is what I'm doing. Listen to me. Like, pretty much what we did when we came here. We're here. We knew. We're new. We understand you guys had somebody else's show that you like. Just give us a listen. Give us an opportunity. Check us out. That's all you have to do.
Unfortunately, we weren't in control of the way that hirings and firings were done. It's not like we had any ulterior motives.
It's so funny to listen to you guys say that when you both, especially you, Nikki, are such marks for reality television, and the only reason you watch is for the drama.
Yeah.
But in real life, it's a different story. So in real life, that's not the case.
Yeah, I think that I like to watch drama. I don't need to be a part of drama. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with you.
No, I know, but
It really doesn't have much to do with her.
But you're my buddy.
Oh, thanks.
You know what I mean?
You're
So it's
looking
like-
out for me.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I can still do this podcast. You guys don't. I can record it. That's fine.
No.
You guys don't want to
what I mean?
participate. That's fine.
No,
I
it's
have no
not
problem with that.
It's not a not want to participate thing. It's a just leave my friend's name out your mouth.
Oh, that's a Will Smith thing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was saying that before Will
Leave
Smith.
my friend's fucking name out of your fucking
Oh,
mouth.
fucking name on my
And
Well, I
then comes
promise
a
you,
slap.
that dude's not going to slap you. I guarantee it.
This
Then
is
comes the slap. No, Nelson's gonna do the slap.
No, this is the same guy. This is the same guy that asked me
listen
one
to
day.
this. Yeah.
He asked me one day, "Do you think you'd be able to control Bailey?"
Yeah.
And I go, "What?" So
Yeah.
at the time there was a changeover of personnel, and so I
It was when
in.
Brandy got fired.
Oh, okay.
And then we found out Nate was leaving. And they gave me marching orders to find new producers. So I was trying to be this team player, and I was, kind of buying into it. And I went to morning show boot camp, and I'm interviewing people, and I'm reporting back. And, I could just see all the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the reasons why I teed up, people that I knew.
Sure.
I had Nelson, I had a buddy of mine, Tuttle, and there was somebody else that I had because I wanted to see how the interview process was going to go. And all three of them reported back to me. This dumb fucker trashes me to these people. Even told one of them, I don't think it was you, that, we're not expecting the show to last.
That he did not tell me that part.
Yeah, he told that to somebody else.
No, but immediately after I get done, and he's like, he needs to be reined in. I was told you needed to be reined in. Could I control you? And of course, I want to hear what the rest of these saying. So I go, you know what? I've known Bailey long enough that I know that I can get through to him, and I can be the force that you need to be. And as soon as end happens, and you see time of call, this guy hates you, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm not taking this job. This guy obviously doesn't want you there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he was brought in to be an Axeman.
Yeah.
I mean, fitting, right? I mean, he was brought in to be that guy, and then it was so funny when he got blown out because I didn't see that one coming. I was like, I saw the Steve one coming. I knew that because the market manager told me he was going to fire him, and I said it in the paper, and it happened the month that I said it was going to happen. It was only a matter of time before the market manager got blown out because he was, I'm sure had enough ladies complain about him and the things that he did. Just like here in Sacramento, there's a stack of sheets against him. But he'll get another job in radio because that's how radio works.
Well,
Radio hires the
trash,
the weak and untalented, and that's just what they do.
Hell, the guy who was convicted civilly of groping Taylor Swift got a job in radio still. So it's like,
I don't know if I believe that one though.
It doesn't matter. It's still the
I know.
pub. You want to talk about no pub is bad pub? That was bad pub.
Yeah, I know. But did you? What side were you on?
Man,
Radio or Swifty?
I stopped touching people because of him.
Did you really?
Yes. I stopped touching people.
When people came in for interviews, you kept your hands
I don't
to
touch
yourself.
anybody. Have you ever noticed?
Yeah.
Like, look at me the next time I take a picture with a listener. There's a hover move. I have a hover move that makes it look like my arm's around you, but I keep 6 inches off, and I always make sure that it's known that my hand is up here.
Oh, so they can see it. That's smart.
I do a hover move, man.
I don't know the guy. I know he was in Denver. I think he's back on the air and he goes by a different name.
Yeah, he changed his name. He was down in Columbia, Missouri. That was his first gig he picked up. I don't know where he's at now.
So we radio people can do some really stupid stuff, but I just find it really hard to believe because he's not a young kid. He's a veteran. He was a veteran. When this happened, that he would purposely put his job in jeopardy to put his hand on Taylor
all the way
Swift's
up her
ass.
skirt.
Or upper skirt.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it. That to me is a Three's Company accident. Something went wrong. Something happened that made he could not dig his way out of it. I just can't believe it.
At the time, I only had a mustache, and I looked in the mirror one day, and I said, if anybody comes and says that Nelson touched me, they're going to look at me and whoever said it, and they're going to believe them.
Look,
so I immediately became the guy who doesn't touch people.
Let me tell you something. I might have told this story once, and maybe. And there's a good chance I've never told this story because it's hard to tell because I don't want to tell it and have people hear it a different way.
Sure.
So it's very important, if you're listening and you're going to listen, that you follow along regarding stuff like that.
Sure.
I don't know how we got from Andy to this, but fine, we're done with Andy. Fuck you, dude. Anyway, so this was years ago in Orlando, and it was for Universal Studios, and it was for I don't think it was Halloween Horror Night. It was for some event. It was they would give us these VIP tours, the media, and it was me, a buddy of mine, Drew Garabo, who does afternoons in Tampa at the Bone, and this other guy, Chad Pitt, who does mornings back in Orlando now, I think at the Magic Station or something. And he had brought a very flamboyant group of fellas with him.
Okay.
And I was with my girlfriend at the time, this girl Lisa I was dating, and I was a drinker, but not a big drinker. You guys know me. I was, and especially stuff like this. And I remembered that night I was really tired. And so I was going to dip out early anyway. And I told my girlfriend at the time, I was like, let's just go for a little bit. We'll save face and then we'll leave. So in order to enjoy it, so we had a beer.
Mm-hmm.
We each had a beer. And they, at the Universal Studios, they give you a, really big cup of beer.
Mm-hmm.
So I, when it was all said and done, I maybe drank half of it.
Sure.
And so we left early and we said, thank you. And the lady that was the tour guide was very nice. She was a huge Drew Garabo fan. I don't even think she knew who the fuck I was.
Right.
But she loved Drew, and she, I think, also was a fan of Chad Pitts.
Okay.
Because he was at XL 106.7 at the time, the station I started at in Orlando. So I leave. This was a Friday. I enjoy my weekend. I believe I was doing nights on JRR, the rock station, and I get woken up Monday morning by all the bosses in one room.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, Buckethead, what I went by, hey, man, tell us about Friday at Universal Studios. I said,
what about it?
Yeah, like I didn't know what to say. I go, what about it? I mean, I went, and I thought I was in trouble because I left early.
Oh, okay.
So I said, I left early, but I was tired, so I'm sorry if I wasn't supposed to do that, but I did leave early. They're like, we don't care about that. We want to know what happened with the tour guide. I said, and I remembered her name, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. I go, I don't think anything happened to her. I mean, she was with us the whole time. Why? Like, still, I wasn't understanding what they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
I go, well, she had said that you groped her breast.
Whoa.
Oh.
Now, the lady that was, like, kind of in charge of marketing at the time, this woman, Jennifer, like, we were kind of this and that. But, so she was the one, it got back to her, and she was the one that complained.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I'm coming into work right now. So I got dressed and I bolted into the radio station and I said, what the fuck is going on? So I see the email that was sent from this woman in marketing who for years had a great relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was accusing me and even used some very, very aggressive, non-male friendly language
Sure.
of what I did because I was belligerently drunk that night.
Ooh.
And I'm like, no. So I had to, now I'm defending myself.
Which you already look guilty as soon as
Yep.
you go
Right.
to defend.
Yep.
So I'm getting like as many people as possible. Like I think. So anyway, it finally came out. Like I think even that day, the lady messed up me and Chad Pitt. And
Oh.
and so, but it wasn't Chad that did it. It was one of these guys that was with him
Right.
that was belligerently drunk and brushed up against her breast or something like that. So I was like, okay, so now what happens? Like, where's my fucking apology?
Right.
Exactly. Did they not apologize after accusing you of that?
Still to this day, no apology
From anybody?
from anybody.
Wow. And then what's that do with that relationship you had with that marketing person then? At that
Oh, I
point?
was furious. I never talked to her again.
Right.
I mean, I would be cordial. I'd see her out. I'd give her the head nod, but I would never talk to
Oh,
her
my God.
ever. I was so, like, at work, didn't say anything. Nobody said anything. It was just, and that's how kind of radio works. They accuse.
Yep.
They assume, they accuse. I was furious.
I believe it.
I never, ever, ever got over that.
Mm.
So I got to be careful.
You do.
And because of that, when you guys don't see me, like a lot of radio dudes getting trashed out in public,
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason. That solely is the reason why I don't do that.
Smart.
I saw that happen to another one of our radio compadres back in Atlanta. But I've never gone out and drunk a lot and did all that anyway, and definitely not while working. But it can get you in trouble.
Yeah. Well, you're a victim of circumstance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, if they see, they think,
Mm-hmm.
perception becomes
Reality.
yep, and
Mhm.
you've got to defend. And when you defend, you're guilty.
Mhm.
Yep.
So it's a rabbit hole that you go down, and it's a shitty fucking rabbit hole.
Yep.
Let me
And
tell
other
you.
people that didn't have anything to do with it go down with you, because that's, again, what happened to our friend back in Atlanta. And she's out here now in California, and she's bounced back, but something that wasn't even really a part of, she went down with the ship because somebody else was drunk.
Who's that?
Corey.
Corey.
You know her and the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, with
yeah,
Caddy.
mhm.
Oh, yeah.
They were drunk.
Yeah, he
at a
fucked up,
concert.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that can happen.
Wow. So, to have someone else take down your career is really maddening.
I know. Wait till you watch what I do to your alls. I'm going to tank it. I'm going to do something silly and
If
stupid.
I haven't screwed my career up yet, I don't know how you could.
Watch the pro.
You know what I mean?
Watch the pro. They don't call me the Titanic for no reason.
Oh my God.
I get you. So, but like, when I go to the casino, I feel I'll drink there. I'm going to Vegas this weekend. I'll drink in Vegas.
Yeah, but you're on your own time.
Right.
You're not working.
But I'm not around people that would see or say something.
Right.
But I'm going to Shinedown and Papa Roach Friday night in Vegas. That's what we're going out there for. I won't be belligerent. I don't get belligerent.
That's what I say. You don't get belligerent anyway. I've never seen you drunk, as long as I've known you.
Right. But I won't get drunk around them because I know them.
Right.
Right. And it's kind of business. It's kind of work. So you go back there, you say hi, you take the pictures, you hang for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. You have, this and this and that. How you been? Good to see you again. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, give me a call. Da, 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 da. Then you go to then that's when Rach and I get stupid. We go back to Caesars and we start, gambling our money. And you get your free drinks in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
That's when you get wild.
That's when, because you want that. You're like, okay, let's pretend like we just met. You want the sexy time going up there. So, is there anything you guys want me to bring you back from Vegas? You guys want me to bring you back something?
No.
Because we're going shopping on Saturday. I got to go find those jeans.
Oh my
goodness.
God.
I can't find jeans anywhere, dude. So I got to go find jeans. Nothing you want?
You should have seen this man when he thought that his jean brand got relegated to a Walmart brand. He was going to burn the jeans he had.
Exactly, which is crazy.
Okay, can I just say something? Because I've not addressed this.
Uh-huh.
And we have not brought that up because it makes me look bad. Makes me look bougie. I've adjusted. I've changed my ways.
You're not going to buy them at Walmart?
They don't have them, but if they do, I'd still buy them.
No, you wouldn't.
I
You're
would.
just saying that to save
No,
face now. I don't believe
30
you.
seconds after this is recorded, cut that out.
No.
Time check.
No,
He
no.
already knows.
Hand to God. If I could find them at Walmart, I would buy them at Walmart. If they were the same jean,
Got to be same quality.
same quality.
Yes.
Sometimes they get a shittier quality like at Kohl's and stuff like that. But I am so desperate to find these William Rast jeans. Even some of the two peers have posted places to find them
I've seen those posts.
on Poshmark, which I
But
can't.
are they used?
Yes, they're used.
No.
I can't do the used jeans.
No,
Thank
no,
you,
no,
though.
no.
I can't put my balls in somebody else's ball hammock there.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
certain things you don't wear use, and pants is one of them.
And people who like fancy jeans often go commando. You're just more likely to go commando.
I can't do butthole to other person butthole.
Mm-mm.
That's just not going to happen.
Nope.
So, all right.
Got to keep the butthole separate.
Well, we got to finish this up because we got to go
You got to get sliced open.
meet with the boss, and I got to go get surgery for my last dermatology visit. And we'll go into the boss's office and see how awesome life is. Can't wait for that.
Feeling a fever coming on. I don't know if I should be.
I was going to see if I could push this podcast for do 2 hours today, so I could get out and go.
Sorry, got to run out. Got surgery.
Got surgery and have an excuse.
Whoops.
So anyway, all right, Nikki, got anything before we get out?
No more drama in my life.
No more drama. You're the Mrs. Queen of vague booking. You vague booked something the other day. It was like something about you don't call, you don't text, so that's why I don't know, or something like that. What'd you say?
Not what I
What did you say?
I don't know what you're talking about. The last thing I even posted
hold
was
on.
that I don't care what people say. I just watch what people do. That wasn't a vague book. That was a
Oh,
quote
that
of
was a
inspiration.
vague. That was a vague book. I
No.
even thought it when I
That
saw
was-
it.
I pay attention to what's going on.
Man, you
That's
fucking
all.
lie. You steal. What you been stealing?
No.
Fucking shit.
No.
There is no way that you would have posted that unless something happened to you.
Nothing happened to me.
Bullshit.
I'll call bullshit on that too.
Call what you want to call.
So why
I'm
did you post
drama-free.
it? What made you post it?
What happened? Maybe something that I saw and I just wanted to put it out
Trying
there.
to make it up on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
What had happened was
What happened was, DeAndre,
he did.
he did. But before he died, you know what DeAndre said?
What he say?
He said something that I don't want to repeat.
I just watch his actions.
So I just vague booked. I vague booked. DeAndre dead, though. He died. You know how he died?
How you doing?
He talked too much. All right, Nelson, you got anything?
Yeah, you know what? Keep my people's names out your motherfucking mouth.
There you go. I like it.
Mic drop.
All right, if you want to join the private two-peer group, just search for the BS Two Peers on Facebook. Give us a like, share, follow on social media. Listen to the BS, please. Andy, man up. Stop being a fuck. And leave me alone. Stop bullying me, please. Stop bullying me. And for everybody else, at The Bailey Show on YouTube, our channel, please subscribe. Look, until next week, have a good, great, and safe one. We'll talk to you then. And bye.
Get off my lawn! It's old man Kevin, and the BS is done for right now.
Please share, like, and support.
TheBaileyShow.com.
Now, get out of here.